Man's Bar. Today we are doing a very summery drink. Today we are doing a blueberry basil smash. Now this is the time of year when all the herbs are in full bloom, doing all the thing to make all the leaves and all the deliciousness. You got the fruit going on sale, it's perfect ripeness, it's nice and tasty. So you got all these things that you want to put together in something delicious. Why not take those fresh things you use for cooking and put them into a cocktail? Now you may have seen a basil gin smash in the past. A gin is usually one of the more common ones that you're going to use for this, but because I'm using blueberries, I don't want to overpower it too much. So what I'm going to actually be using is a combination of things. So I've got basil, because of course you have to, with one mint leaf thrown in just for good measure. I have blueberries and a lime that I'm going to muddle all those three things together in the bottom, get all that juice out of the berries so it gets nice and flavorful. I'm then going to add in a little bit of a mint simple syrup that I made. So this is a simple syrup that was actually a 2-to-1 ratio of sugar to water, so a little bit more concentrated. But I put a whole bunch of mint leaves in and steep those for maybe 20 minutes or so, get all that nice mint flavor out, and then filter that into a bottle. So that I have the mint flavors coming from here to complement the basil. I'm also going to put in, from the liquid component, some just white rum to keep it nice and clean, nothing to overpower anything else, but then just a little bit of a blueberry gin that I made a while back. This, I macerated some blueberries in a pan, added some gin, just got it nice and bubbly to get the really good color and flavor in there. The color is really the reason that I'm adding this, because it really is this nice vibrant red that you can get, and just a little bit of this is going to go a long way. And then we're going to finish that off with just some crushed ice to make it a nice summery drink. Dilute it down a bit and make it so you have that nice thing you can sip on the outside on the veranda while reading a book on a delightful evening. That's the theory. Let's give it a try. I think it'll be good. So we're going to start off by just dumping in the washed and quartered lime as well as our blueberries into our cup. Now I've got about 10-ish blueberries. It doesn't really matter how much, as long as you have enough to get the flavor you're looking for, and depending on how big the blueberries are, obviously it's going to make a big difference. So these, because I don't yet have the basil in there, I can muddle these pretty hard and not be worried about getting those kind of plant flavors that I'd be otherwise worried about, because any leaves you really don't want to muddle too hard, because if you do, as we've discussed, you're going to get those plant flavors coming through which you don't want. However, because the rinds of the lime are a little bit more robust, giving this nice muddle won't be a problem. So those are nice and muddled together. I'm going to go ahead and add in my basil leaves. Right there. So these I'm going to do a little bit more of a gentle muddle on, as well as my simple syrup, because these can all get nice and combined together before we add in the rest of the bits. Now this, I'm just going to put in maybe a half an ounce or so, just enough that it's going to give it that nice flavor without making it too cloyingly sweet. So now that I've got those leaves and that sugar in there, I'm going to get everything nice and combined with my muddler, get all the oils and whatnot out of the basil leaves so that I have all that nice, fresh, herbaceous flavor coming through once I add the rest of the cocktail. So just giving those a nice, gentle little stir, get everything released. Beautiful. Alright, now that I've got my main flavorful ingredients in there, I'm now going to go ahead and start adding my booze. So I'm going to do just maybe another half an ounce of the blueberry gin. Again, mainly for color, to give it that nice deep red color, but it's also going to add some flavor as well. Alright, next up we're going to need about 2 ounces of a white rum. And by the way, a lot of these things you really don't have to put in. You don't want to use a rum, use a gin. You don't have this, great, don't throw it in. This is just kind of the things that I had lying around that I thought sounded like they might work well in a herbaceous smash style of drink. So that's what I put out. But if you don't have them, or if you have other things, throw in whatever sounds good to you. This is very much a choose your own adventure based on what you find in the fridge. So we have all of our liquors in there and all of our flavorful things. The only thing we're going to be adding on top is going to be ice and then a fizzy water, which I just got a soda stream, very exciting. So now I have all the fizzy water I want at the touch of a button. It's exciting. Alright, so now that we have all of our things together, I'm going to put a whole bunch of ice in here, because you may have noticed, this is not a shaken drink. This is a drink that you're going to be building in a cup. So you're going to want crushed ice that's going to make it colder more quickly, because the cubes are designed so that they have less surface area, so they're not going to melt quite as quickly, which is good if your drink is already chilled, but if you need the ice to chill the drink, having a larger surface area of a crushed ice is going to allow it to chill it down faster. So put a whole bunch of crushed ice in there, give it a nice little stir, and I think we got a good looking cocktail there. Just to finish that off, a little dash of a sparkling water, just to give it that nice fizziness that will end the day beautifully. And there we have our blueberry basil fizz with some gin in there and some rum and some mint for good measure. Let's give it a try. You know, the crushed ice dilutes it nicely and the additional soda water makes it even lighter. That's a really nice combination because you got kind of the sourness of the lime that really goes nicely with the freshness of the basil. That's really good. If you want a nice, fresh, refreshing summer drink, throw a whole bunch of liquors in with some herbs, mush them together, and throw in some blueberries just, you know, because they're pretty. And blueberries tasty too. In any case, I hope everyone's staying safe and sane and healthy, and until we drink again, cheers.